in these next coming slides. So when we talk about chakra work, we talk about, we know all of the chakras. But when we are trying to build our chakras, we cannot build our chakras from any random chakras. We have to be specific with this. We have to deal with the root chakra. And honestly, before we begin to understand and overstand our chart, it's like being connected and being turned on. And being turned on is how you begin to interpret things factually in reference to who you truly are. Meaning that it's some shit that you don't even need to be paying attention to. It's some shit that you need to be really attentive to. When you are not tuned in and tapped in or activated, you don't know what you're supposed to be paying attention to. So you just randomly all over the place. And that is not a place for nobody, because it leaves you feeling broken at the end of the day. So when we talk about root chakra, we're talking about something that is very personal to you. And should be monumental. This should be something monumental for you, because if you stay tuned in and tapped into the root, you are staying tuned in and tapped into the cause. If you know the cause or the source or the reason for something to do what you're doing, you can never be wrong. When you act, if you're studying your chart and you're not grounded, if you're listening to some yogi master and you're not grounded, if you're doing anything and you're not grounded, good luck with it. But when we talk about spiritual things, it's almost as if this shit is not real. You can almost turn your back on spirituality because everybody is talking about random shit that they read in random books. And it's like, can we relate it to something that happens in real life? That's the purpose of this course. I want you to look at your life and I want you to say, what is the reason that I'm doing this? And I guarantee you, it is because you are afraid. And if you find, and being afraid is being afraid of being homeless, not having it. You don't want to be kicked on the street and you got to pay your rent, things of that nature. You are not operating out of cause. You're operating out of fear. This fear is pre-programmed by our parents. When we talk about spiritual development, we are going beyond our familial structure into the divine consciousness. And how do we do that? That is what we're talking about. How do we activate our personal cause? How do we tap into our personal source? Because you could be motivated by your family, you can be motivated by your partner, you can be motivated by your children, but I guarantee you it's going to fizzle out. And I deal with the fizzle out people every single day of trying shit. Trying everything but meditation. Because I've heard meditation all over the place, but why do I need to meditate? Would then be the question. You need to meditate because meditating brings your consciousness to you. And that would create your cause to life. Your cause to life. If you don't know your cause to life or your reason to live, then that means you are living out another reason. And this is where my Indian accent would come in handy. Because this is how Indian gurus teach you about reincarnation. The reason why you reincarnate is because you immediately go off the path. You never think that you are not you. You never thought that you are not you. You always thought because you were in a relationship or you had a job or you were able to take care of yourself, you were cool. But say, for instance, you had financial troubles or you lost your partner or the things wasn't working out. Then people start what? Going to church, going to God, getting a reading. What's going on in my life? My relationship's not what I was supposed to be doing. And ultimately a person can tell you, but you're not even doing what you're supposed to do in life. That's why the relationship don't work out. When you are a spiritual being, life has a real, sincere, strong way of telling you doing the wrong thing. One's in the chat if you ever felt that God or spirit or source was telling you that you was making a wrong decision by what was happening to you, almost supernaturally. You felt like, oh my God, this isn't what I'm supposed to be doing. That is why you need to activate your root chakra. Because sometimes you don't get those warnings. Most of the times you don't get those warnings. So activating your root chakra, it's not an option. It's a necessity for an individual. Meaning that if I wanted to operate my Apple iMac laptop to do this live, I do not have an option to do the live, to lecture y'all without cutting my laptop on. So when we talk about spiritual development and not activating your root chakra or not knowing what Kundalini is, or just kind of like, I don't get it through the Indian accent, so I'm going to tune in, I'm going to tune out. This is the reason why you'll continually be on this kind of weird loop of living externally, trying to find value in the external, trying to find value in your relationships, trying to find value in your work and your adoration, and never getting it, because that's not the point of life. The point of life is to purify everything. Purify every experience in your grown adult self and be nothing. That is the only way that you get to the cause or the source of who you actually are. But I feel as though we need to